Welcome everyone to Apex Challengers Super Week Day 2. We're starting things off with Mighty AOD versus X6-Gaming. I'm Wolf. With me today is Papa Smithy, making his Overwatch casting debut. How are you feeling today, sir?
It's a waited for debut, Wolf. It's an exciting one too because we're already in the thick of it. We already have a match to decide. Our first team from this Challengers Super Week into Apex Season 3.
Yeah, would you say for this entire time you've been an only watch caster?
That's probably the best way to put it. Still getting used to it, still getting used to the pageantry. Doing the other games, but a second Blizzard title casting with us. What was it, 2 years ago? We did some Hearthstone, and now here with the big game.
Back then I didn't even know you that well. I had to cast Hearthstone. I knew very little about the game. I was just filling in, but you're making a big dive in here to Overwatch, as I did just recently doing last season of promotions with Seth. Achilles, of course, who I cast with yesterday, and I did that Super Week last time. We're doing the second Super Week now. Of course, Atlas will be diving in later on this week as well. So the whole casting team is coming together. Now, important to note, everyone probably already knows this, but the patch hit last night, and we're playing this live. So the players coming to the studio, we're going to have to play on the new patch. The new Lucio changes are, in fact, live here for this tournament. And
they're pretty dramatic changes. You know, you wouldn't really think of them as tweaks, almost like a rework for Lucio, because the big change to the aura, specifically only having that 10-meter aura rather than the 30-meter. Go in the practice mode. You can visually see that 30 meters to 10 is a massive change. It's going to be a big change for dive comps, which have been so prevalent. We're going to be learning a lot on the job here.
Yeah, Lucio, of course, getting that little bit of extra speed when he's jumping off walls, for example, going to make him maneuvering a little bit faster. You guys have probably seen the videos, of course, on YouTube about how the changes affect how he can move, how crazy quick he is, slight damage increase, as well as projectile speed. The boops, the vertical booping. You can run up and crouch, knock somebody up. You can almost Ryu Shoryuken somebody with the boop in a sense.
We can debut some names like Shoryuken if there is a really sick boop.
That's right.
This is the first competitive games, obviously, with the patch only being a couple of hours live, so
I mean,
it's going to be
quite
fun.
Literally only a couple of hours. So the teams have obviously been able to participate in the PTR and get a feel for Lucio, but this patch hit quite suddenly, so no one's really going to be that great at it yet, so there's going to be some experimentation. Remember, no one will be straight eliminated and relegated into Challengers today, but the first two best of fives we're having this afternoon will directly promote the winners of those best of fives into Apex. So I'm going to have this graphic to further describe that. Here are our groups. We started off with these matches yesterday. So our teams from Apex, Flashlux, Afrika Freaks Red, AOD, or rather from Apex, you can see the top line, Flashlux, Afrika Freaks Red, Combat Spirit, and Infinity, and then the Challenger teams below.
It didn't mean so much when it came to previous status, given that 3 out of 4 of the Challengers teams are actually sitting in this winners bracket, potentially lining up their spot into Apex. So confirming what you were saying before, double elimination over these 4 long days of Overwatch. I actually welcome the 4 best of 5s a day because I got to get my bearings ready for Apex. Season 3 coming very soon. Hopefully all of us involved, but a lot of Overwatch Day. And again, a learning period for everyone. Players, fans, even us as casters. We don't really know how the Lucio changes will shake out in the competitive because Lucio traditionally has always been the most picked hero.
Absolutely. He's a most picked hero. He's also kind of an obvious pick, a forced pick it feels like oftentimes, which is why these changes are coming in. If you look at the developer reasoning there. Let's just take a look at this bracket really quick. AOD versus X6 will be our opening match. Our losers match, though, will be happening this evening from Group A between Flashlux and Afrika Freaks Red. The loser will have to go down to that loser bracket where they have one more chance to advance into Season 3.
We will indeed have a winner of the losers and a loser of the winner today.
It's basically a triple elimination tournament. No one's ever said that before, but that's basically what we're doing.
I love OGN graphs. I mean, OGN graphics are always amazing. Complicated, but as you say, the big takeaway is 2 teams. The 2 winners from our first matches in our afternoon session, I guess you'd call it, of games today, confirmed into Apex, and then we continue playing out the lower side of the bracket.
That's right. The MVP matchup is going to happen this evening as well with Space versus Infinity. They both didn't win a single map in promotions, and I guess one of them has to win, right?
I mean, team kills are so cool. Actually, I wasn't around OGN back when in Champions we used to have the sister team, so having a sister team match always has a different dynamic. I almost want to hope that the League of Legends players are here, that all the MVP squads are here, because it's going to be a big day for MVP.
Absolutely. Even in StarCraft, you know, you have two players playing in an individual league against each other that practice together all the time. Things can get a bit wonky. Here are our patch notes. It's going to be patch 1.10.0.2.
Thank you.
It finally came out live here. It's been on the PTR. This testing has been ongoing for a long time. It was pushed through with the new loot boxes today, so go get your free one. See if you can get some of those Overwatch skins. I actually got super lucky with my legendaries today, so I'm in a good mood.
Doing some sick sellout here, Wolf.
Sick sellout, that's right.
The big changes here are basically about the radius, like we mentioned. The left-click damage has gone up, the boops as well. I know it's in Korean. I imagine a very small proportion of our global viewership can read this.
Yeah, it just talks about his movements beyond walls. Obviously, the Orisa change to her head is 15% size reduction.
Ego has finally gone down for Orisa, 15% smaller head.
Got that robot plastic surgery. We all know how everyone loves small faces. So going to be a lot tougher to get headshots. Well, about 50% tougher to be exact. I don't think this change will impact her play rate because she wasn't seen yesterday, but who knows?
We saw 0% Orisa. I'm hoping to see 2%. I'm talking about for the whole day. It's going to be a long day, but I hope someone plays around with it. Pulling down people from high ground as a tank seems to be strong. Dumping your very large clip into a Reinhardt shield seems strong as well. So will she be a staple of the meta one day? Almost certainly, but today, maybe not.
Maybe not. I mean, we saw Sombra slowly but steadily end up getting into the meta. Twilight's use of Sombra yesterday.
Oh, baby, in our first match.
Yeah, and this is the kind of experimentation you expect to see in this promotion terms, especially for Combox Spirit, who was just so favored in that best of 5. They brought out a new strategy. It worked really well. Now that's a big tool they have in their toolkit.
But you never know, right? Is it a new strategy that's going to be a staple, or is it like the last time we saw Sombra, where I believe it was Complexity at the time, taking her on first points, spamming out damage, having the ultimate for the first push, or will it be something that's solved? One best of 3, one best of 5 isn't a big enough sample size.
It definitely is not, but it shows the potential.
Yep.
And I'm hoping we see something from Orisa, even if it fails, that shows an idea, a concept of how she could be used. You know, I talked to a lot of the Western pros specifically about this, and the only time anyone's really saying that she might be useful, in their opinion, is on Sanctum, because her halt, of course, knocking people into that center space, and also the threat, just the fact that she could potentially knock you in there.
Think of the well, Wolf. Think of the well.
Going to be, you know, some exciting stuff. If she ends up getting played, we'll probably see it happen at least once. But so far, 0% here. You know, again, the Lucio change is really about that radius, but you got a little bit of a damage buff as well.
But, I mean, the big change is really, where is Lucio in the fight? Obviously bouncing off walls for the majority of it, but is he in the front line? Boosting up Winston and Genji? Is he in the back line, boosting the speed and the healing to allow Ana to live? Will it warp the support or the rest of the pool? Lucio has always been the standard. What happens around Lucio is what we've always focused on, and maybe even the fact that he's the standard. Will that be the case? Will we actually see no Lucio teams? Now, for today, I'm thinking we're still going to see Lucio because these teams were still in a bit of a shroud of mystery over whether these changes would come alive today. So I imagine they haven't had enough time to really run all the different strategies, but increasingly going forward, who knows if we'll see Lucio as that same staple.
Yeah, that's the big question. It's going to be a lot tougher for him to just sit and hover around on pillars, for example, and heal the entire team while buying time. Just to reiterate, here are our matchups for this afternoon. It says
winners
today.
Only.
Winners only. So AOD versus X6, Combox Spirit versus the Wings.
I know there's a reason you brought me in for these matches, Wolf.
Yeah.
Winners only, baby.
You and I are winners, man. We'll be losers a little bit later on this evening.
Let's not think about that.
At 7 p.m., in about 5 hours' time, we will have that second matchup. So do check that out. Don't forget, this is not the only one. The highest level play we'll be seeing today, though, will be the afternoon one. So hopefully you all woke up for this one. The exciting match, I feel, really will be the AOD versus X6, because X6 is just so good. It might even be a stomp. I hope not, but it's the one that you look at and go, okay, I want to see some more Godspeed, all right?
But I like the fact that I think we had a bit of discourse about this because I'm really hyped about Combox Spirit. To me, they were the most impressive team. You and Achilles were both talking about X6, who we'll be seeing in this first match. So I guess we have our favorites, X6 and Combox, for the matches respectively. But let's go through the lineups. First, introducing Mighty AOD, took down Flash Lux 3-1 in the first match of this Super Week.
Yeah, you know, some really nice play. The struggle they had on Nepal was unfortunate. I feel like the weak link here. Oh, asking for them to cheer. Say, I'm DM, 18 years old. Please cheer for me.
That's an ASL thing right there. location for this player.
Yeah.
They're all looking for their fans. We've got some X6 fans in the crowd we can see here. Obviously 2 p.m. on a Thursday, not necessarily prime esports hours for fans to come out, but the hardcorest of the hardcore are here.
Yeah, they got third place, of course, in Challenger with a 7-4 score. They looked strong yesterday against Flashlux. Sleep having the problem of dying and getting despawned or desynced with a spawn several times, aggressively going in alone. So he's going to have to be careful about that moving forward. That was the big weak link I have to pick at my AOD from their matches yesterday.
And you have to wonder, again, positioning, new Lucio, actually so important now. You can no longer skulk around the backline like Ana. You need to be in the thick of it, or otherwise your team fight impact is very different. On the other side, we have X6-Gaming, so hyped, talking to the challenger casters like GoRush, one of the Korean casters, really hyping up this team as maybe a middle-of-the-pack Apex Season 2 team, so therefore should be very much in the thick of it when it comes to potentially going through today.
Yeah, and Godspeed, he played a great Genji, and that's what he's most known for. He's kind of a Genji main, quote-unquote, but that's a staple when he plays the less common heroes, when he's on the McCree.
His McCree, oh boy.
When he's on the McCree, he uses his Deadeye to get the D.Va out of the way so he can just left-click people down. He's so mechanically powerful and such a threat, especially on high ground locations or open maps.
And I think the Genji could actually be a separator because very notable in the mighty AOD versus Flashlux game. No Genji players, at least no main Genji players, no Who Are You or Haksal between those teams. So are they going to be ready for dealing with a Genji to the level of God SB?
Well, we're going to Nepal again. This is the map we had. Mighty AOD, they lost it to Flashlux, the only map they did lose on Control to start things off. So I do, again, favor X6 going to this first map. We'll see if they can tighten up their play. Sleep, again, the big question mark. I think this was his worst map, and with the Lucio changes, he's going to have to be a little bit more on point in terms of positioning. He's going to have to be in the thick of things, as you said. He's good at being in the thick of things, but maybe a bit too far forward at times.
And I hope our OGN Observer will focus on Sleep and Gilly. It's all about the Lucio changes. Control points were always where Lucio shined the most. Plenty of ultimate timings. Something's changed, though, and it's going to be fun to track.
That it will. My big focus, obviously, beyond the Lucio is going to be Godspeed, because this is a great map for McCree. We see a lot of McCree, especially on Sanctum. But here we go, guys. It's time for game number 1, Mighty AOD versus X6-Gaming in our first match of the winners this evening, or this afternoon, excuse me, here at OGN.
Get it.
First time I've ever got it, Wolf.
That's right.
Feels so good, man.
And we got it every time yesterday, so you're probably going to have a great first day.
Yeah, if my first day was the Apex Finals, though, that would have been a day without getting it. But today, it's going to be a long one.
Well, I'm sure you'll be getting it quite a lot. So it's time, man, for your first Overwatch cast. We're going to do it together.
I'm learning on the job. What do I need to know, Wolf? Give me some
sick.
sick tips for Overwatch casters out there.
You need to know that it's pretty hard. Man, it's always tough the first time, but you're a great commentator. You've got a lot of experience. You've passed in multiple titles.
And I've been ready. I've been sitting there, but I didn't know it would be the Lucio patch. I didn't know it would be a learning experience for everyone. And it's so high stakes. Mighty AOD, X6-Gaming, 1 best of 5 away from Apex.
All right, so we're going to see the Pharahs here again. We saw this yesterday, but very critically, it's going to be Sleep and Gilly still on the Lucios, so keep a close eye on that as we move into this neutral zone here in the middle to see who's going to get the advantage going to that first capture. Kareev, definitely not as good as Godspeed mechanically on the Pharah, but we'll almost catch him off guard here. Nearly. Nice shot there. Bebe on the chase. Maybe not the best Mercy, and actually may get picked off here. Just barely escapes.
Still a 6v5 though, waiting for the wins to get back. Fate first to go down. We're watching this battle. See if there's any middies between these two. See Lift Q's low. Gem's on the point, trying to take it for first capture. D.Va pushes her off. Seems like X6 have the position on the first capture.
With the kill on Lift Q and Bebe already having a res here, this is also a great ult lead for X6. They're going to have the ult defensively to use here. Gyobin as well, building up towards that self-destruct. Obviously, the opposite side of things, Thorncut has it too, but defensively it's a much more powerful ult. As we see the Pulse Bomb is ready here. DM looking for a pick to start things off. Not going to be able to get it. Gilly.
Super low with the Resurrect available. Then he's dead. Dies with Resurrect up. Watching the rest of the fight, couple go down, 2-2 on both each side. Watching DM get so close on this Winston.
Don't forget, DM still has this pulse bomb. He hasn't had to use it yet. Still getting picks without it. Bebe on the way back, looking for that res potentially. Dodges the pulse bomb here. And it's actually aggressive position. Here comes Karib. He has that barrage to drop down here, but doesn't need it necessarily. They're going to actually seal the deal here, it looks like, and recapture this point. 41% for X6.
There is finally the first capture. At the problems with positioning because they had to drop down from the high ground first to be able to contest the point. Both teams get a capture. I'm getting my bearings too. Ultimate advantage is slightly with X6, but as you can see, both the supports trying to build up.
Really critical that Bebe still has the Resurrect. They could use that to push. They're going to have Sound Barrier here soon. We're going to see Hyobin just drop the self-destruct in from the left side. Actually picks up a triple, and that should never happen. So this is a great opportunity. They don't even have to use the res. This is likely going to be an easy take. Godsby has Barrage as well. And they're just pushing through here. Gilly gets us the right-click kill onto Fate, and that should not have happened. It was mostly off-screen. Too bad we don't get a replay of it there, but just
Shades of Mickey back in Apex Season 1 when the changes first came through. Massive triple. Allows X6 to get the fast flip, and now 4 ultimates, soon to be 5 with the Pulse Bomb available soon. X6 in full control.
Godsby saves the barrage. The res is still up. You know, the Sound Barrier, these critical ults. We're going to see a self-destruct coming here. We'll see if we can repeat the process. Not going to happen.
Godsby's dead already. So it's 6v5 to start this. Mighty AOD need to flip and flip soon. We're seeing the Tracer battle, both super low. DM uses the recall.
Sound Barrier is up. It's not as easy to make it work with this comp. Nice melee to come in there, finish off that kill. 2 kills though for X6. There's the barrage. Mostly absorbed here on the end, but still they have this lead. The res comes out.
And it's 6v5 as we're watching the first shots. 2 kills already. Suit already through, and Bebe's dead, so we got 1 less heal coming through. Karib with some nice shots.
Here's that self-destruct defensively used here to try to secure this. Gonna pick up another kill onto Fate. Hyobin on point with these self-destructs. Timeboy picks up another. Overtime ticking down here. This very well likely will be the first cap.
Only DM's contest. No one's up. It's going to be first point over to X6.
There they take it. Pretty convincingly as well. It all went wrong there for Mighty AOD when Hyobin got the triple.
Oh, triple on the D.Va. Massive play from him. 96% of his game time yesterday on D.Va. And you can see Lucio changes, don't even worry about those. It's all about the D.Va on our first point.
D.Va's a hero I play most too. She's my main.
Have you seen the new D.Va highlight intro?
I have.
Just incredible.
That's the first thing I'm going to purchase on my credits when I go
Honestly,
home tonight.
Choyobin should be breaking out the iPhone and taking the selfie there, because that triple, that's what it was all about.
Look, if we had play of the game for that one, he certainly would have gotten it. And it's the angles he's taking with these self-destructs that have caught my AOD off guard both times, especially Fate with that second one. It was not even really his mistake, it was just the good position and the angle. As we come in here, switching comps up quite a bit. Godsby moving into the Genji. This is the dive-oriented map. Thorncut, interestingly, going to be sticking with the Zarya, though. And the Genji-less comp you were talking about before.
Yeah, Karib, of course, has taken the McCree largely to try and deal with Godsby on that Genji. We're watching the first interactions here as D.Va trying to get up in the grill of Karib. Godsby's already got the first kill. Traded for the D.Va mech. Watching a couple of flicks. Very low as the Genji, and he falls. Should be advantage, Mighty AOD.
Yeah, you know, this map can be used with both variations. Obviously, the dive very powerful, but the range and the open space was going to be great to counter it. Thorncut picks up a double here, and it looks like Mighty AOD is going to secure this first point fairly easily with that early pick on Godsby. It's important he dies early because that's much less Dragon Blade he's going to have built going forward. He gets another kill on the Bebe mid-air. This guy is on fire right now.
And you can see X6 is already varying their comp. Godsby is respecting Karib on that McCree, changing over very quickly to the Zarya. The moment you see the D.Va desuited and also the Genji going down, could only go the way of Mighty AOD, and so far they've contained and now trivialized the Genji.
Yeah. The Reinhardt coming up here for no smite as well.
Fate's going back in.
Gets it off, but it doesn't actually really connect. Nice block there, actually. Karib drops a Deadeye, doesn't get any connects. Looks for the pick onto Tracer and fails.
You largely just use the ult there for a reset on the ammo, you'd have to think. And when watching the rest of the fight, Thorncut dies in the front line. A lot of the control for Mighty AOD might be going. That's 2 kills already for X6. We're tracking Timeboy. Yep, seems to be the flip here. A lot of control here for X6.
Killing McCree there, knocking Karib out without the pulse bomb, saving it. just like we saw on the previous map here. X6 very conservative with their ults over and over again, and they are going to have, of course, the nano boost going into this next fight.
But it speaks to the mistake from Fate and the mechanics of X6 to flip the point without even having to overuse the ultimates, having them in the backline. As Timeboy's looking for some supports, you'd have to think.
Sneaky
around.
Timeboy. He's done this a lot yesterday. He's looking for the Ana. He's going to come in here. Doesn't even want his stick. He does do it. Gets the kill on the lift queue. And this is going to be a great defense, starting things off for X6.
He's going to take out the Reinhardt as well. There's the Lucio, dead in the backline this time. Going to keep charging up these points. Timeboy going to pick up the health bar as well. Watching the duel here. Can he take out the opposing Genji? It's DM. So close stuff. Back away for now.
You know, they have some tools to deal with Timeboy, but if they can't see him coming, it won't necessarily matter, as he's just sticking around playing super conservatively, not just spamming out DPS. He doesn't need to do that to build his meter because he already has a pulse bomb because he saved it from earlier.
And now might have to try and come in, but here is the really big ultimate here from the Zarya. There's the self-destruct. What will it get? Nothing. Actually, it's a 2, sorry, my apologies.
2, and Godsby picks up another, and this defense is solid once more here for X6, and they again do it with very few ults, really just Godsby dropping down that Graviton Surge. That's all they needed, the pairing there for the bigger bang. Pulse bombs up. They have now Nano Boost at half. They have the Earth Shatter and Sound Barrier. They're setting up for the defense. They don't have that self-destruct because they used it early, but that's really all they're missing here.
Yeah, you just track back the class from X6 to flip the point after a single mistake from Fate. This time we do see the Earth Shatter though. Timeboy watching, doesn't quite get Zarya. No, Zarya does go down with the last shots.
Yeah, the bubble
the Reinhardt as well, and it's probably just going to be a cleanup for X6.
Looks that way. 10% left to go for this map win for them. Timeboy has the Sound Barrier. He is just carrying this game on his back right now. Looking for the pick on the Kareem, who switched to the Genji, but it's not his main hero. He's not as experienced on it. He will be picked off. Misses the health pack.
We'll see if anyone's here to even contest. Yeah, we do see at the moment. DM in the backline trying to buy as much time as possible. Needs to be swatted like the fly that he is. It does go down, but we do see the respawns coming through from Mighty AOD.
Yeah, they don't have, X6 does not have any ults here actually, but they're still going to pick up a triple here. This will likely be a hold. Fate's trying to force his way in, but he gets picked up before he gets the Earth Shatter critically, and that's the tick down. They will take this map 2-0. Nepal belongs to X6.
It was an insane take and then hold from X6. Their ult economy was super on point. You cannot afford to make a mistake like Fate did trying to get the big Earth Shatter, was slept and missed the Shatter, and from there, the ult economy using 2 ults, never committing to 4 or 5, meant that X6 didn't really look like they were in threat of losing the point.
And I feel like we could even take this point further, because when you have this lead in ults, you don't have to ult as much. It speaks to the mechanics of a player like Timeboy, who doesn't need the pulse bomb necessarily to get these picks. So it's easy to say, yes, they're being conservative with these ults, they're not using them necessarily, but they're just so good, they sometimes don't need it, which gives them more options. And for Mighty AOD, they got desperate at times. They had to use multiple ults because they were just losing the point.
And usually conservative is used kind of as a backhanded compliment, but in Overwatch, there's overusing ultimates, which is perhaps the worst thing you can do, where you flip the point, but you have no realistic chance of holding onto it on the next push. And there's being conservative, which is the gold standard. So maybe we have to adjust the verbiage, but they were on point, the mechanics were clear. And suddenly, Mighty AOD are pretty much on the ropes.
They really are. It's only one map, but it was clean, and that's the worry here. Now, Mighty AOD will have their map pick for our first hybrid here. We saw Kings Row almost exclusively yesterday, but it's going to be Numbani, our second time this tournament.
We saw Numbani in the last series, I believe, of yesterday. Teams always seem to favor Kings Row. It's always been seen as that gold standard of hybrid maps, but seeing Numbani is different, and now seeing the dive comp so common on point A with Lucio change is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, and I feel like with how little experience Kareem has on the Genji, as you were talking about before, on the attack here for Mighty AOD, it's going to be very difficult to break through X6's setup, especially when you have Godsby on the high ground. He's likely going to be playing the McCree on defense here, and hopefully for Mighty AOD, this map pick works better than it did for MVP yesterday, because that was our most one-sided and fastest game I've ever seen.
That was a really, really fast game, like you put it, so going to be hoping for something different here, Mighty AOD.
That we are, well, we'll see if they can tackle Godsby on the high ground. We're going to jump into this map here in just a moment. Tension's high here for AOD, as that was a tough loss, 0-2. As we head into this map now, Mighty AOD looking to tie things up on their map pick. X6, though, with a map I feel is very strong for them. We'll see if they can make this a clean 2-0 going into match point.
get it.
Gotten again, Papa Smithy, you're 2 for 2.
Nothing if not consistent over here. I'm just relaxing and unwinding, as the advertisement suggests.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd be at the lounge in Nubani's airport, no problem. You've got that nice credit card getting in there, easy peasy, just like Genji. All right, so let's look at this. AOD is going to be on attack first, and they're going to put Fate on the Genji. And we'll see if, I highly doubt Kareev is actually going to stick with the Orisa, but we will wait and see. Only time will tell. You can use it to knock people off the high ground. They could use it to answer for Godspeed, potentially.
But think about this. I mean, people might not be that familiar with Mighty AOD. Fate is largely a Winston Reinhardt player, so they're going to have a lot of adjustments here to fit into a comp if they are to be running this Genji. Obviously, some of the picks going to be flipped over, not expecting the Orisa just yet, sad boys.
Yeah, I feel like Fate will probably switch here to the Winston. I don't think he's actually really going to stick with the Genji, but if he does, that would be really interesting. Most interesting of all, perhaps, is that we're going to have Timeboy on Soldier, so he's not going to be on the Tracer. He's going to be the high ground ranged damage, and they're going to move Godspeed onto the Zarya. Interesting that they don't want to run the McCree, but this is still a strong composition. And yeah, Fate will switch to the Winston here, as expected. We're going to see the Pharmacy comp coming in on the attack here for Mighty AOD as they approach the point through the center, splitting off into 2 groups.
Could actually be really effective in this case. If you look at X6, sure, the Soldier ultimate, but otherwise not that many answers for the Pharah, so we'll be tracking Kareev very closely. DM already on the point as well.
Okay, they're looking for picks early here. Very early recall for DM as well. Perhaps not necessary there. He's missing it now. Yobin gets the pick on to sleep, but Godspeed's already down, and Timeboy is broken. The dive is working out here so far for Mighty AOD.
Just being on both sides of the verticality of the comp working super well for Mighty AOD. A couple of answering kills in UFO. Liftgear specifically going down. We're watching Kareev still alive, trying to rain down damage from up, but no more pocket Pharah for her.
Yeah, triple kill here for Fate, and it looks like this is going to be a very early cap. We'll see if X6 tries to rush back and contest. Already 2 points taken, and they're going to give it up. So Mighty AOD, map well chosen. Pressure.
The last moment.
Yeah, they're going to try to rush in. I think they have to give this, though.
Looks like they have to. I don't know if any more respawns are coming. That is the D.Va ultimate used for zoning as well, and yep, there is the capture.
Yep, Thorncut gets the kill, so they just really wanted to try to waste some ults there of Mighty AOD. They got the self-destruct only. Ends up being a fairly good trade for them to just poke in for 1 death there. But map well chosen. Mighty AOD with a very technical push really dealt with that high ground Timeboy Soldier play really well. Knocked him out super early. They're going to leave D.Va alive here as long as possible. Thorncut finally gets blown off the side, or Hyobin, I should say, by Thorncut.
Be a very big push on the streets phase here for Mighty AOD, and yeah, we gotta say, we normally expect that to be the Winston Genji dive, but having the Pharah and Tracer was verticality that clearly X6's comp, you could tell, was not selected to deal with. They seem surprised as well, and very comfortable pick there for Mighty AOD on the map they select.
Well, Timeboy has Tac Visor now, and that's one of the best ways to knock a Pharah out of the sky. DM going in here, poking aggressively right now, forcing that Primal Rage to be used early.
Watching Timeboy pop the ultimate. There is the nano boost as well, so the nano visor's coming through. The moment that we see Liftgear go dead had already ulted. Still going to be a nice little wipe coming through here for X6.
And this is exactly what I was talking about. Timeboy, using this very well when he had that opening, gets the kill immediately. Yes, didn't stop the res, but still, they cleaned this up. A nice defense here. Really only using the Tac Visor, saving the majority of their ults. Having Graviton Surge ready, having that self-destruct for the defense for the next push.
Now it's on Mighty AOD to find a way. It's in an awkward spot here, the cart, when it comes to trying to claim it. They don't have a setup ultimate for the Pulse Bomb either, but they're getting Godspeed really though. He dies first. That's a good start here for the Tracer with the pickup, holding on to Pulse Bomb. Watching Kareev slept, woken up again though.
Yep, unfortunately that wake up there, he survives, gets out of that Tesla gun, and is going to look for the pick on the smite.
Nice.
Hits him right in the body, right in the head for the kill, so that's going to be 2 picks here.
Looking pretty close between the two, but they want to finally get this cart pushing. D.Va is desuited, will be taken out, and here will be the push and probably the claim, unless there is a last-second contest on the streets phase.
It's tough to say things like this, but I feel like part of the reason why this is working so poorly for X6 is Godspeed's on a non-mechanical hero, so to speak, on the Zarya.
Reminds me of Haksal when he's on the Zarya instead of the Genji, because, so good with the mechanics like you mentioned, but when Zarya mechanics still relevant, just a bit different.
He just can't make as much of an impact here. He can't knock the Pharah out of the sky. It's relying on Timeboy, who's more of a Tracer main. As we see the Primal Rage coming here, he's trying to force
a lot
this.
of space.
Yeah, he wants them to use the Graviton Surge if he can force it, but obviously it's not going to happen. Uses that very early as a result. Nothing to pair with it. And here comes that Graviton Surge. Godspeed.
Last moment, but there is the ultimate there, the Nano Boost onto the Zarya. Going to be mowing down 100 charge as well. Going to have to duck out.
Actually, a lot of kills here, just the same at the end of this for Mighty AOD, so it's not going to be a full waste for them. Well, they're not going to be able to make this happen. DM still aggressively posturing. He's going to have the late respawn, though. He gets punished for doing that. As we do see that Godspeed push forward to get that charge up. He's going to have another Graviton Surge soon. Surprised he's not switching, to be honest.
The stalemate that goes slightly to the side of X6 definitely suits them, as there's going to be no push on the card. Still 3 minutes 40, so a long time for Mighty AOD to try and get things together in very close proximity. There is the missile barrage. So far, not taking down anyone, largely going to be absorbed by the Diva. And now Time Boy answering with the visor, taken out as well.
Garib, really accurate Pharah today. Not something he's super known for. He has played it in the past, but it's really working out for AOD. And critically now, they're going to get past this archway, which is where that Graviton Surge that's now available is most powerful in that choke point. They're not going to have to deal with it as directly now.
And trying to stop the spawns from coming through. They're spawn camping to get as much pushing as possible as Mighty AOD. You can see No Smite just trying to buy time, stop the cart from being pushed, doesn't die. Very nice stuff from him.
Very quickly doesn't die, but this cart is very quickly approaching that final checkpoint here. DM recalls, looking for the kill on the Gods. Remember that Graviton Surge still available with self-destruct. They go for the bigger bang here. Doesn't get the kill on the Pulse Bomb.
A bit of a zoning Pulse Bomb, but there's the Graviton Surge. Not a lot to collapse on top of it. 2 kills so far, though.
Yeah, very late ult from Hyobin. Here's the res coming in from LiftQ. They want to force this to happen right here, right now. They've got 2:30 left on the clock.
A lot of time. We're watching the kills. Those spawns still continuing to come through. 5 up for Mighty AOD. There's the ultimate as well from Sleep. They're just trying to stop them from even exiting the doors.
Yeah, looks like they're actually going to make this happen here. Once Gilly goes down, they will complete the push here.
3 meters.
Okay, they're going to have it with 2:14 left on the clock. Pretty solid push there, and obviously, you know, the map, they really played it well. They executed a unique kind of Genji-less dive pop, and I feel like especially with that first capture point, as this is a hybrid map, really killed it there. Killed Time Boy early as well as Godspeed.
Yeah, my impression also, the time bank is largely off the back of the amazing point 1 capture, where they really got it in a good time. And sure, there was a last-second contest to buy and shave a little bit of time and some ultimates, but we thought of maybe 2 phases right after point B and right after point A where they were stored. Apart from that, pretty smooth sailing and not a bad time whatsoever.
But I'm going to stick with my guns on this. I really feel like had Godspeed played McCree earlier, wasn't stuck on the Zarya, perhaps he could have knocked Pharah out of the sky, given Korea a run for his money there. And we saw in that last engage, he was just holding on to the Graviton Surge, trying to force it to work. They lost that archway, which is where it's most strong. Then Hyobin had a very late self-destruct, so it didn't pair very well.
But you and I, and also the crowd, I'm sure they picked up the vibes. Hey, you were a bit frustrated that we didn't get to see the mechanics on Godspeed. He's on attack now. It's not going to be Zarya for point A, that's for sure. Should see the return of his Genji. First Genji of Numbani for us. And it's going to be a lot more traditional dive comp from X6.
It's not out of the question that Bebe actually stays on the Soldier here, because he is a kind of flex healer, and Soldier can give that extra healing, as you see how quick Sleep is here on the new Lucio.
Do see the multiple, like 3 DPS on point A on Numbani a little bit. It's something that people have been messing around with.
Harry Hook, you know, really notably known for playing Soldier in situations like this in the past. So, you know, he's one of the Western players that likes this kind of style.
And if Combok Spirit have any argument in it, maybe it's going to have to be a necessary flex to be able to go from Ana to Sombra, for example, as that was the big triple DPS we saw yesterday. Waiting for the last second. Looks like Baby will be sticking. Baby will be sticking with that Soldier, so triple DPS here from X6.
All right, here we go. They're dashing through, going to split off into 2 groups. Actually, the majority.
Not a lot of healing here, you have to say, apart from the healing center from Soldier and the Lucio having the nerfs on this patch. Remember, we are on live patch today.
A little bit of extra vertical knockback there. But you know, as well, with the reduction of Lucio's healing, it's tough with just a small Lucio heal. But Bebe gets the pick here already onto LiftQ. Second pick as well into Creep. Quite an accurate Soldier, as it turns out. Pocket Soldier here, keeping it hidden for most of the time. Godspeed gets the pick here onto Thorncott as well. And this may be just an early capture here. It worked out quite well. The 2 kills for Baby really unexpected here to see a player who's been playing a lot of Mercy, a lot of Ana come in and kill it on the Soldier. Really like to see players show some flexibility in their hero pools, though.
And, you know, we have so many teams here, like a Freak of Freaks Red, famous for 2-2-2, you know, going for these very balanced comps that people get thrown off by triple DPS. The Sombra yesterday worked a treat for Twilight and Combog Spirit. The triple DPS here from Bebe as well, picking up the first 2 picks so crucially. First person to die was LiftQ. Need to be a bit more in position with that Mercy as the fight's already started here. Tracking DM here, and Mighty AOD want to stop in basically the same spot that X6 did in the previous map.
Definitely true. Kariv here back on the Pharah, trying to find what he can. Bebe has switched into the Ana again, so he didn't even use the attack visor, he didn't even have it, he just switched immediately. Just wanted that for the first attack only, so they have a lot more healing to work with. Hyobin does help this have the self-destruct, but there's nothing really to pair with it yet. He's going to use it for the engage anyways, tosses it in. Kariv is going to have to avoid this, actually gets the kill on him regardless. The res comes out, however.
Res comes out, well, tracking here, the D.Va in the middle of the fight. And does much damage. No one falls. 3 ultimates up on my AOD. There's the answering ultimate from the D.Va. Goes through, gets the Lucio crucially.
And Timeboy as well goes down here.
It looks like Winston going to go down as well. Bit of split spawns here from Mighty AOD.
Okay, DM gets the cleanup kill there onto Bebe, and Hyobin's just going to have to go back and reset with the rest of his team. Rocket Barrage, or excuse me, Nano Boost is going to be up here fairly soon for Bebe. And, you know, Godsby will be able to pair with that. He's on the McCree, finally, what I've been wanting to see. He was playing the Genji earlier, but now moving into this McCree that he's so mechanically known for. He usually uses that Deadeye to kill the D.Va, knock the suit out, then go for the left click. So look for that with this follow-up push. Timeboy's already knocked the suit out himself with a good grab.
They've been trying to contest the Pharahs. Yep, single pick comes through from Godsby. Gets LiftQ once again. As well being able to have the biggest impact, even though the previous fight went pretty well for Mighty AOD. Because of the spawn location, they had to all back away, and now it's going to be a very comfortable streets push for X6.
Yeah, we'll see if Mighty AOD switches to the Zarya to try to hold this choke point. I don't think it's
there
really,
it is.
There it is, but it's so late, and Thorngut's not going to have you know, that ult available when this is really going through that archway. He's going to have to build it up very soon here.
I mean, you look at Mighty AOD, it's really concerning for them. They have, what, 5 players at 10% charge or less compared to double ult, so it could be a very fast pointsy take. Watch for the whole hawk here from Timeboy.
Yeah, he set it up quite early. A lot of good grabs earlier. Godsby again.
There it is.
Okay, here it comes down. He's going to push it through the Winston dive in as well. So they're going to have some ability to get those left clicks. Godsby in position here. Doesn't get any picks just yet, but they get around this corner. They get through that choke point quickly before Zarya can have the ult.
Reinhardt's shield is down as well. They could get a massive push here. Remember, they haven't stopped here. X-Gaming looked to have an even faster time. 420 in the bank. They've got it all the way right to the foot. No one's contesting. They need to get onto this point. Emergency defenses here from Mighty AOD.
Okay, we do see the self-destruct come down. Timeboy picks 2 here. Kariv is doing what he can. Here comes Winston back in, and this should be a take here. They're trying to buy what time they can, but it's not going to work for much longer. Earthshatter coming down here for Fate. He's desperately trying to turn this around, but he gets slept and pushed off the point.
Still contesting it, though, for now. Mighty AOD, but that's the last one dead. I think they're going to get the push signal. No, D.Va's respawn. There's the ultimate also from Sleep. They're just trying to buy as much time as possible. Desperation here from Mighty AOD. And there is the visor is hooked!
He gets hooked, and that's going to secure the point. Kariv bought so much time there, though. And had he not been hooked, perhaps he could have bought even more, but they still finish it. I didn't actually see the exact time, but I feel like they're about, what, 30 seconds ahead in time pool?
I think it might be closer to a minute. There's around 3 minutes 30 here for X6, who that big ultimate advantage coming into point C was so important. Switching over to the Zarya was necessary, but not actually afforded by where the ultimates were, and the whole hog did so much value. It got them all the way around the bend, and no contest on the choke, really.
It's really important to switch unit comps on the fly with pushes like this, but when you're winning, it comes easier, right? You already made things happen. You already have that lead, whereas defensively, when you're trying to switch desperately to the Zarya, it just feels a little bit too little too late, and they did multiple switches, so as you said, almost everybody at 0 for that last defense. All right, so it's going to be Mighty AOD for the first push here with their 2:14 in our overtime round.
So some very nice overtime pushes yesterday, and Mighty AOD with the time bank discrepancy. It's going to have to keep up the trend of first captures on point A. That so far we have had no successful defenses at point A Numbani today.
That's right. See a crazy successful one yesterday and a fast take. A lot of fast takes today indeed.
Will they just go for the same comp that worked for them? Because you'd have to think that X6 will now be adjusting, expecting the Pharmacy and Tracer.
They will, it seems to be. Godspeed's actually going to be on the Pharah this time, not the Zarya on the defense. So Bebe switching to that Mercy. He has been picked quite a few times. It's kind of a weak link, I'd feel, on the Mercy, but they're going to stick with this for now. They may switch later.
The best Pharmacy win. That's how we look at this first point. It's the answer already given to us. Godspeed gets the first pick onto Kariv. That is Bebe down as well, so pretty equal in terms of impact. See if we'll see both Mercies are dead. So we're tracking Time Boy, who's making it work.
Yeah, he certainly is so far here. Sleep gets picked off as well, and it looks like Mighty AOD is going to have to reset here for the push.
Although they are starting to get more and more picks. There's the ultimate down.
Okay, will they get back here in time? Are they going to contest this? Time Boy in position for the pick here. It's the Tracer battle, which is so critical in moments like this. And it looks like he will barely not get the kill, but forces him off. And it's going to be another setup here for AOD. They're going to have to look for another play. In terms of Mercy ults, they're dead even right now, which is quite critical.
It's high risk, high reward from DM to stick around and get up the pulse bomb. Farm the pulse bomb while his team was dead. Now the respawns have come through and they still have the ult. Would have been a split spawn if he had died, but now we're back again. Watching the Pharmacy duo and waiting to see if we see our first pulse bomb.
Thorncut's got a minute left here to perhaps make a self-destruct the way they get on the point here. They didn't get that first tick, unfortunately. DM with that pulse bomb.
Yeah, Godspeed's already got to. Does have his Mercy die. Both Mercies dead again.
Thorncut has that self-destruct. They may try to use it here, but they just don't have enough capture. It's not worth it with the kills that already came out from Godspeed. They have to back off again, and this will likely be their last chance. They're looking for that res. Lift Q, 85%. He will have it. Sleep soon to have the sound barrier. They've got a lot of tools to work with here.
Look how advanced Time is. He knows if he gets a single pick at this juncture, they probably won't even have a serious attempt at picking up a capture. So tracking Time Boy. Can he get a pulse? But gets it onto the Winston. Quite take him down, and here we go. It's time for the overtime push in just a few seconds.
Does get the pick on the Winston with the follow-up there after the recall, which is super critical. The LiveQ does not have res yet. He doesn't have it yet. 8 seconds to go here. He needs it. Thorncut's going to have to buy time here with the self-destruct. He pops it in. And it gets one pick onto Gilly. There's the sound barrier coming down. Will this be enough? Godspeed soon to have the barrage.
Watching DM try and force a couple more. They need to get as much control here. Still not ticking up. And respawns will start to come through. 2 kills here for Mighty AOD. There's the D-suit as well. Might be the claim in overtime for Mighty AOD, but the fight still goes.
The fight still goes indeed. Time Boy just trying to buy as much as he can. Aptly named here. Smite picks up 2. No Smite, I should say.
Left Q.
Here comes the res. He needs to pick it off.
He's gonna launch in. There's the double res from the side of the Mercy. Mighty AOD have the numbers advantage, but Lucio's dead already.
The barrage coming out here from Kariv, picking up 2 more kills. It looks like they will eventually take this cap. DM doing what he can to try to pick us off. Here comes the barrage, mostly absorbed. Does get the 1 kill onto Kariv.
Buying a lot of time in the air here. A lot of the contest from X6 is in the air. Down goes Mercy. No second res. Gonna come through from Lift Q. Nice shot there.
Godspeed's so low, but he eventually does go down here. This is actually a crazy long fight that we're watching here. Yobin does have that self-destruct. He wants to pop it here. Here's the shot of him. He's coming in. Not going to use it till the last second. There's the pop.
Wants to buy as much time as possible. Contest is only from Kariv, but here's Winston again. Okay, so the respawns are coming through. Feels like 2-point capture at this point. We're going so long on point 1.
Yeah, not even a single tick either here for Mighty AOD as the spawns get lower and lower, slower and slower. This might be the last attempt here. DM goes down. Overtime ticks out, and it will be a hold for X6. A long, hard-fought battle, but Godspeed carried it again on the Pharah, getting so many kills there. No, never afraid to continue to be aggressive, even when low on health, and actually oftentimes lacking the Mercy heals, but still just running in, looking for those headshots, looking for those big body shots, and he got them consistently enough to stave that off.
It's going to have to be a heroic hold from Mighty AOD. 3 minutes 40 for X6, basically a standard push, and all they need to do is to prevent the full hold and take point A, so should be pretty straightforward requirement from X6. We didn't see any adjustment from Mighty AOD on team comp in the attacking phase to begin with. We'll see if it's just the Genji. That part we can pretty much assume from Godspeed.
And we're going to see Bebe once more on the Soldier, so this looks like deja vu coming into this one. Time Boy on the Tracer. So
the thing about the comp from X6 is you get 1 good dive. If 2 people die, you don't have a reset heal, you don't have Ana, you don't have Mercy, you only have the tiny AoE of Lucio and the health station from Bebe. So it's a very high-risk comp, but when it goes well, as we saw
it's
in
almost,
the first attempt.
It's almost all in its nature, right? It works really well or it fails really hard.
It feels like you pull the goalie in NHL, for example.
Exactly. And the cool thing about this, though, is that they have a larger time pool to work with. So if the first push doesn't work out, they can switch comps then. So
it won't be like when Mighty AOD turned to the Zarya on the last point with no ultimates and got run over. You're right. They can sit back, look for 6 ultimates, and go for a late push.
Absolutely. Well, they're moving in now. Last time they got 2 sick picks from Bebe alone. Timeboy's in the background softening people up, looking for that pulse bomb. Several people very low here. Bait actually nearly going down. Sleep's going to be the first to fall. Bebe gets that pick.
Both healers down here from Mighty AOD. This is panic station from them already. Killing fields established for X6-Gaming. That's all of them dead.
That should
Full
be
team
an easy
wipe.
cap. There it is. X6 takes the second map, Numbani. 2 pushes with that soldier in a row. You're playing against this team in Apex if they win this third map, and you better be careful about that Bebe soldier on Numbani.
But let's recognize Mighty AOD, who do go down now at match point. You could tell from their attacking phase, their attack setup for this map was clean on Numbani, but their defense setup, they were bamboozled twice by a very standard dive comp with just the triple DPS thrown in. Had no answer in both cases, even started the capture early, did X6, and got the full capture in about 20 seconds, so very clean from them, and you might need a couple of tactical pauses and a bit of extra time if you're Mighty AOD in the future, because this could be a very quick qualification for X6-Gaming.
Very much a high chance of that. If they win the next map, they'll only have dropped the 1 map to Afrika Freaks Red in their run to Apex. A very runaway-esque story here when they, were able to maintain their Apex spot going into season 2.
This is going to be a moniker used for them. They're going to be the runaway of the future, you'd have to think.
That is what people will say. We talked about it yesterday, but they still need to win 1 more map. We're going to go to a short commercial break before they'll have that 3rd shot, so we'll see you guys in just a few. We knew X6 would be the favorites going into this best of 5 Papa Smithy, but we didn't know it was going to be this easy for them. A quick 2-0. They did have to win it in overtime on Numbani, but AOD looks to be at a bit of a loss here.
And it's one of those weird situations where we're still very much in the infancy of competitive Overwatch, so the teams that will be the best in 2 years may not exist yet, may still be a roster swap or two away from firming into the SK Telecoms or KTs of other esports, so we're still learning about who the best can be. And remember, a lot of those famous squads came onto the scene a year and a half into the picture. X6 is the team that anyone who watched Challenger, basically those people that were able to brave the Korean broadcast, if you're a global viewer, or really came back talking about, and so far we have certainly been convinced.
Yeah, as sponsorship comes more and more often, these are the players that the sponsors are looking for, the scouts are looking for these new teams in big orgs coming into Overwatch. So you want to be in Apex, you want to have that big TV time as often as you can. So it's important to get into Apex. And yeah, as you said, nothing is set in stone right now. As we move into our 2 capture map, we saw a lot of Hanamura. Both guys in the pool today, but it's Cherry Blossoms again, Papa Smithy.
And as you mentioned yesterday, very topical. If you're in Seoul, South Korea, you will see the Cherry Blossoms are in bloom. And X6-Gaming in bloom as well. Mighty AOD, as we said, good pushing phase on Numbani to start off. That attacking phase worked well, but apart from that, have looked second best, and it's now or never for them.
Tension's got to be high in the X6 booth right now because they know they're just one map away from following the storyline all the Challenger casters put forward, the Korean commentators, the fans here. As you can see, Timeboy does a little dab there as he's hyped. It's got to feel great to go into Hanamura, a very standard 2 capture map, just knowing all I have to do is win one more map. Then I'm going to Apex. I'm following this line. I'm following the path of Runaway. I'm following the path of Meta Athena to take that top spot. We'll see if they can do it as we go into this third, potentially final game in this best of 5. Mighty AOD struggles to fight back. Will this be their map? It's their choice. Let's find out.
I get it.
The Sakura ga Hanabi, as the Japanese would say, the cherry blossoms falling lusciously in Hanamura. Anime fans everywhere got that reference.
Yes.
I watched Bleach for a bit.
Did
you ever dabble with the Bleach?
I saw Adult Swim super hype intro they did for them once, but I didn't actually.
Don't Google dabbling with the Bleach, by the way. That's actually a bad thing. But
yeah, don't look that up. I would highly recommend against such a notion.
And look at this. We've got our first sighting potentially of Torbjorn, unless he wants to just abandon it, as, well, Bebe found his maker.
Korean commentators got a little bit hyped when he jumped over the gap there, but he made it. It's fine. Everybody relax. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be a fairly standard position here up on this platform on the left side. We saw it placed behind the rock yesterday to horrible non-success, to horrible failure, I should say, the opposite of success.
I gotta admit, you talked about being placed behind the rock, and I thought we were talking about wrestling for a second there.
I know you're a big fan.
Hey, it was WrestleMania season right now, so I think most people who are Laps fans like me have turned it on for a month or two before turning it off again, remembering what wrestling's actually like.
Well,
I'd see Kariv open. We've seen some great Widowmaker opens on Hanamura. No quick pickoff just yet.
I'd love to see some headshots coming in here. Kariva's dabble with the Widowmaker.
Nice defensive structure so far from X6. They're being very respectful. First shot available onto the Winston. No headshots yet. But right now, no one is taking him down. No one is actually trying to shut down Kariv. He's got a lot of free time.
Timeboy poked him a little bit, but that's as much as they're going to get here. Timeboy's already at 50% of pulse, by the way, as they do actually get in onto this capture point away from the turret. Gilly only at 33%, currently not getting a lot of charge here. Looking for the picks here already. Hyobin's out of the mech, but no Smite picks up the kill on the Fate, so it's a 1-for-1.
Kariv no kills, but is not being harassed either. 70% charge on him. A couple of picks come through. It looks like Mighty AOD so far have been very, very comfortable. The meter starts ticking. That's one checkpoint already. We're just watching DM basically be the gatekeeper of this entrance.
Yeah, I mean, he's just simply not been dealt with. No one is really even poking him. He's at full health constantly. Has that pulse bomb again now. Perhaps going to drop it down onto Gilly. Hyobin out of the mech, unfortunately, without self-destruct. so close there, but so far. Reeve actually just popping off now. Unfortunately, not able to get through the shield.
Molten Core popped already, though, so it's bought a bit of time. A lot of members on the point have died. And even though the capture meter was so high and no one is answering Karivu, headshots the Torbjorn. They haven't been able to get the capture. They do have the closer respawns, though.
Kind of crazy to imagine a Widowmaker would ever walk this close to the point, but there's just no one to deal with her right now. Timeboy was super low. Godsby actually switching over to the Soldier, nearly with that tac visor right now. Their positioning and their defense is just so conservative because of the Widowmaker.
6v5 for a long time. 2 members dead already. Kriv continues to just fire, basically unhindered. Should eventually be the capture here as they're going to get many more members onto the point.
We'll see
X6
if
has done it.
Yeah, they're just going to let them have it because there's no way for them to even try to force ults out. And now look at the ult count here for AOD. They have so many. They have Transcendence, they have Sound Barrier, Self-Destruct, and Winston, of course, having the Primal Rage. Surprised Kariv doesn't just insta-switch, but maybe this is why.
I guess the quick instant pick, they might have expected him to change. Trace is here now to try and shut him down. 2 HP, wow!
He gets him with the melee there, finishing him off.
That's 4 dead, including the mech if you do.
Could be a fast double cap here, potentially. There's a Pulse Bomb attempt. And Thorncut's going to finish off no smite here.
Maybe
they've already got 2
on,
points.
But he's being gate capped. There's no one on the point yet.
Timeboy trying to do what he can to delay here. Hyobin coming out as well. Even Gilly joining into the mix here. Fate still has that very important Primal Rage. Is going to consider popping it here as Kariv is still not dealt with.
Just shooting gallery. Does back away for a second because of the self-destruct. So far, no one has gone down from Mighty AOD. They have a second ultimate in the Winston ult. Up, free shooting gallery here. But Kariv just continues, and for now, nothing that X6 can do.
He sees Timeboy coming, uses the visor here to try to secure the kill. Unfortunately, unable to do so. But the cap continues. Timeboy buys time, doesn't get the kill on the mech here of Thorncut. This looks like it's a cap.
Getting closer and closer. One on it for now. Yep, here comes the respawns again. There's Godsby on the Genji. Not quite dead. Will die now, but remember, every stagger, any single pick onto Mighty AOD is a chance for X6. Timeboy gets Thorncut.
Okay, Timeboy is going to have to buy some more time here. No Smite comes out once more. Every kill for X6 is way more valuable than the kills for Mighty AOD because of the run back time here on Hanamura. They will get the hold. It was so close. And unfortunately, critically for AOD, they wasted all their ults, including Transcendence, which is nearly back up again.
2-point capture tease. First time I've had it in a cast.
Just not working out for them. They saw blood in the water. Lift Q switches to the Ana, so that's going to be one swap we see here as Thorncut's moving into that Roadhog as well. They're going to go for a more standard push here, looking for pick-oriented play.
Gonna take the high ground, which has been seeded so far by X6. There's the ice block. May goes down very quick, so it's 6v5 instantly, but not for long, of course, with the respawns. Riv wins the duel with the McCrees. Watching Thorncut hasn't been taken down. Once the Lucio, nice grab there. It's a nice 4v2 start, but of course the respawns will start coming in.
Kariv does get the kill on the Hyobin out of the mag. Will this be enough here? It doesn't look like it.
Ana nerfs in full display there, wins by just 20 HP. Pre-nerf would have been enough on live patch, remember.
Oh, Kariv gets another pick. They might actually be able to force this out here. Does get that other kill. Hyobin's going to try to buy time here. Gets hooked immediately. Does get knocked down here.
Still, the timer doesn't start. BB now onto the Genji.
Okay, only Timeboy buying time. Ticks going up.
Ice block onto the point, so won't have that afterwards here, but there, of course, the Lucio ultimate as well. Stall in full display. Big Earth Shatter from
They're
Fate.
off the point. They're knocked off the point from the Earth Shatter, but they do get back on. No one capping at that moment.
Whole Hog to knock them off as well. Choyabin on the left side. This might be it here.
Looks like it certainly will be. With that Earth Shatter into the whole hog, that is just enough to get the final picks, the final kills. A hard-fought capture there. They tried for the cheese, as you mentioned, but the second more standard push worked out despite the fact that they wasted ultimates. They were able to get them up, and Kariv, several consistent picks allowed that to happen up on the second floor.
And the Roadhog to open it up as well, finding the Mei who had just ice-blocked on the stairs, getting the hook. Those first 2 picks crucially onto the Mei and the Lucio, who couldn't be in point. If the Mei's in position from long range, spamming ultimate, you have that ultimate up, suddenly you're going to be able to hold on to the point a lot cleaner. So that was probably the one window to actually claim cleanly for Mighty AOD. Taken, embraced, and we've seen from yesterday that capturing 2 points on Hanamura is never a trivial ask.
No, it definitely isn't. Nearly 3 minutes on their time pool here as X6 is going to have to repeat the performance. They're going to have to outdo them are as best as they can here. They're going to at least have to get 2 captures, or this is not going to be the 3-0 they wanted. They were really excited going into this one. You saw the fan service in the booth there, but it's not over yet.
We've already seen Runaway not able to close a 3-1 lead. 2-0 lead here in a best-of-5, very similar. Well, let's see if anything starts to crop up, because guess what? When you're winning, a lot of the issues in a team, whether they're communication or personnel, are a bit trivial. You believe in them because, hey, you're winning, it papers over the cracks. Now suddenly, we've got BB back on the Zenyatta, who got picked off a lot yesterday. Of all the members, he was the one who I thought struggled the most from X6-Gaming. We do get to see Godsby on the Genji, as we're going to have a flashover on the Orisa.
They're not going, they're not going to commit to the soldier comp they used to attack Numbani. Much less effective here. Baby, is he going to lock it in? I doubt it.
Nope.
Okay, switching now back to the Zenyatta, so more standard dive comp. Gilly on the Lucio. Again, the Lucio change is going to make this a little bit less effective, or more effective depending on how the Lucio plays. Sleep's always been an aggressive Lucio, so it may work in his favor. Just hovering around the gateway now as Bebe helping everyone charge in. Godsby's already inside the point, coming behind here.
Got the Discord onto the Reinhardt. Nice angle to get some harass in, but Timeboy's dead already.
DM with the Helix rockets for the kill. And it looks like they're just going to have to reset for another push here. Godsby not getting as much charge as he would have liked either. Another knockout here on Hyobin's mech. And he's just going to have to suicide.
Worth knowing that Mighty AOD don't have any insurance heroes, like, for example, the Molten Core coming through, or something like the Mei. So,
yeah,
very standard comp from them.
They have only really the Graviton Surge, but they don't have it yet. They're only 32%, 37%.
Normally, if the first hold comes through and you have something like a Mei ultimate, you're like, okay, this is going to be struggle street. But much more standard stuff is Timeboy's already darted around the back, getting really low on the Reinhardt. He's the first pick to be a big problem, and there it is.
Okay, Fate totally uncontested right now. This was the story of last game with DM. This time it's Timeboy gets 2 kills. And Thorncut, though, picks up a triple with the Nano. And that's actually going to give him a Graviton Surge for the next follow-up defense, if he can actually stop this push right now.
And these two need to be able to hold here, because remember, the dive was successful to start from X6. Graviton in a second. Will he use it? Wants to try and hold point A, and there it is.
Just right into the center here. He needs to get those picks. Sleep and Kareev get 2 kills here, and this will be held for Mighty AOD. Thorncut getting that triple with the Nano, securing the Graviton Surge. These were the steps Mighty AOD needed to take. They were able to successfully make it happen.
Yeah, big wins on different fronts for the dive of X6, but also the Zarya on the side of Mighty AOD, and you saw the AoE there from the Graviton Surge. Now that's down. Now they only have the Lucio ultimate. This is the big window for X6. They've got the Dragon Blade. They've got a lot of tools. They set up cleanly here. This should be point A for X6.
Timeboy doing a lot here on this high ground once more behind that Reinhardt shield. Here comes the aggressive Dragon Blade. He had Sound Barrier on it. It's already popped off now, though. He's not going to need kills. Transcendence comes up here.
Transcendence being followed up on, of course, Godspeed still on full health. They need more picks. Only 1 for 1 so far. There's a second. There's some answering ones from Mighty AOD. They are not sleeping on this point whatsoever.
Definitely not. Sleep, by the way, definitely not sleeping. Getting 2 kills here. And it looks like this is going to be yet another held push. Godsby super low. Very little support here for him right now. No Smite actually goes in here with the Primal Rage to try to secure the kill. I believe not able to get it. Actually, funny as it is, Timeboy on the point, but will be knocked off here. Going to be another defense for Mighty AOD as X6 resets.
See the 1 for 1. The respawns are also something to consider. 2 for 1, not always a massive advantage when you're trying to hold point A, Hanamura. But there's a couple more kills. This should be more of a full reset here from Mighty AOD.
Timeboy's so consistent with the back pickoffs there. Doesn't get the kill here, but it doesn't look like it will matter as they do finally secure this after a hard-fought battle. Just having better ult usage overall. Mighty AOD having to use their ults aggressively, defensively early. And then X6, those pushes where they basically forced ults without using theirs, then followed up with their own. That Transcendence, the Dragon Blade, started things flowing. And now they've got 4.5 minutes to capture the second point. 4:30 is a decent time bank here.
Taking a lot of time to decide what exact comp they want to go with as Timeboy, considering his options, eventually decides on the soldier. So they probably want to try and control the high ground here with their first push.
That they will. Godsby actually, it's a lot of damage done there with that blind shuriken up the ramp, up the staircase. Everyone is set up and ready here. They predicted this correctly. And this is not going to be an easy push. In fact, they're probably going to have to adjust. Thorncut is the blind hook. Nearly catches Godspeed there.
Big ult disadvantage for X6 going for these swaps. And the second swap actually for Timeboy is on the Zarya now.
A really good charge here, actually gets the kill, and LiftQ is just working with it right now. So much damage done, and this is not a successful push. X6 got called out early as Mighty AOD was able to very easily identify what type of push it was going to be.
Yeah, nice scouting from them, compared to X6, who were all at sea when we saw the high ground push from Mighty AOD in the attacking phase for them. The answer is there. They didn't even have to invest ultimates, just a whole hog short of 6 ultimates on the side of Mighty AOD.
This is really worrisome for X6 as they're only a few seconds away from having
Do you
an
just go for an
pull.
eco push here where you just try and farm ults? Because you have to feel like you haven't seen an ultimate from Mighty AOD in an age.
I think you do have to do that. You have to hope you can trade. Although, as they say that, they're not going to eco push. They're going to pop this Dragon Blade to no avail. They trade it 1-for-1 with DM, but it's only 1 ult used. It was nanoed, of course, so it's technically 2. But X6 doesn't get anything out of this.
Look at this as well.
Oh, man, the late respawn. Not to mention, look, at this exact moment, they're now at a worse time pool no matter what.
So the one theory there of using the Dragon Blade is to hope to get 5 ultimates from the side. And to their credit, they got 4 of the ones that were available. Still the pulse bombs. They got a lot of big ultimates for just a Dragon Blade. So while you look at it and you say, okay, why not just farm 6 ults? I think I can understand what X6 was considering there, and Mighty AOD did invest quite a lot.
I like it especially more when you see that Godspeed switches immediately into the Soldier afterwards, so perhaps he was planning that anyways because they're so obsessed with the second floor push right now, and that's going to be a better hero for that type of play. Sound Barrier popped here on both sides actually, but already Karif getting so much free damage, no one here to deal with him.
Gotta say,
it's going to be another defense.
The defenses for Mighty AOD on Hanamura far eclipse what we saw on Numbani for them, where it was a big problem. The attacking phase we've already mentioned is good. Really like the defenses. It feels like this high ground push strategy from X6 is being pretty expertly answered by Mighty AOD.
Definitely so. Timeboy will have this Graviton Surge here, which is quite critical. There's not a ton to pair it with because they don't have Self-Destruct yet. No Smite will have the Earth Shatter, so that's their best option here. Again, 1 minute and 30. They've got about 2 strong pushes left. No ults critically for AOD as they used so much in that last defense.
They need something, you'd have to think. Maybe even just the nano onto the Soldier. Doesn't have the nano visor combo, but there's the ultimate. They predict the defense here.
Oh, really well done here. Godspeed gets the pick immediately onto Sleep. They're going to take control of the high ground, and this is really bad news for AOD.
Fate's super low. He has to go pick up the health pack, so he won't even be able to contest on the point. Going to be some percentage happening, a lot of percentage coming through as there is finally the ultimate from the Reinhardt.
Oh, the late shatter to secure the double kill for Yobin's ult. The triple getting the kill onto DM here, and this finally may be X6's moment here to get the second cap.
On the point right now, but the respawns will start to come through. Big couple of kills here for X6. Trying to clear the point, but you can see the respawns. Let's see if they can actually stick this push.
They're going to try to Sleep here coming out, trying to buy some more time. Self-destruct as well. Nothing coming from it. Triple kill here again for X6. They're just consistently getting these picks. They're playing very aggressively to make sure no one on their side dies. They're just wiping them out one by one to eventually cap. It's very taxing on time though, and AOD is just doing whatever they can to buy as many seconds as possible. Even another shatter coming out here. And here comes the Winston.
Finally gets
more
on
time.
Last second contest, but how much time will he buy? So it's just still more.
Oh, Ice Block comes in here as well. They may force the overtime, which would be really nice.
They need to get D.Va on the point, flies in at the last second. They will continue to jump in. It's going to actually be an overtime capture for X6.
Yeah, definitely will. So much time bought here, so well executed for AOD. Looking for the icing on the cake to stop this completely.
Double kill.
There's Timeboy, though, gets the kill on the Thorn Cut. Meanwhile, Sound Barrier comes up. Here's the self-destruct. They're trying to make sure this finishes, but unfortunately it's not. Not yet here. Again, the respawn's taking so much longer for X6. Will AOD actually hold this second point?
Looking more and more like that. Such a long run back from X6. They continue to get picks, though. It's still Mighty AOD right up against the wall.
All right, Timeboy, the last one here to try to make this happen. Yobin doesn't have the self-destruct this time, already knocked out of the mech. They're trying to keep this overtime swinging here. The respawn's coming out so fast. Thorncut drops on the self-destruct. It's going to be the double, and that's the hold.
The hold actually comes through from Mighty AOD. The double kill on the pulse bomb, running in at the last second after Winston stopped the capture from coming through was the big game changer. So long to try and fight 4v6, 6v6, 6v5, 6v4 as the overtime goes. That's fine, but the double kill was the big tonic there for Mighty AOD, and they finally get on the board, and it will not be a 3-0 sweep for X6-Gaming.
That Hanamura cap is so difficult. You really have to snowball that fight. You have to be trading like 4 for 1 at worst, okay? Because if you trade 2 for 2, that's so bad for the attacking team. Even if you kill 3 and lose 1, the attacking team has those quick respawns. They're popping out with fast heroes, the Tracers, the Winstons, the Divas. They're buying time. And you have to just really, really wipe consistently or block the entrances.
And if you ever have one of those minute and a half long contests and lose, suddenly you're coming into the Mei ultimate. Suddenly you're coming into the AoEs. That means that even if you get everything, dot all your I's and cross all your T's, you're probably not going to be able to capture. So it got so close, literally maybe a percentage point or 2 away from competing, but that's enough to separate the two. We'll go to our 4th map between Dorado and Watchpoint Gibraltar. That's not one we see very often. We won't see it today either.
Oh, I was really hoping on your first cast we're going to get some Jib in here. Not happening.
I don't know if you're on a nickname terms with Watchpoint Gibraltar. Jib's a bit of a stretch there, I think.
Jibby. Come on. Nobody, you don't know Jibby? Everybody knows Jibby, right?
I know Dorado, so that'll have to do it.
That's Dory. Just like Hani, Numi, and Neppy. All right, so look, this Numbani was difficult for them to hold, but this is a very different type of map. That was hybrid. The struggles that we had for AOD were on the defense of that first point, but Dorado, you just start.
X6's first map choice as well. We'll see how that goes for them, as they probably thought they were cruising, and suddenly the hype plane is derailed, at least for a second.
And it gets a little bit awkward when your map choice, the one where you're trying to get advantage, is Dorado versus Gibraltar. We'll see if they can close it out this time. Hanamura was a struggle as we go into game number 4 between these two strong teams in our first match of the afternoon.
I get it.
Here we go. Dorado getting a little bit of that Mexican flavor. I love that. That's my favorite type of food, you know.
You're a Mexican food aficionado. What about Korean food, Wolf? Come on.
Well, you know, that's what I'm famous for, but...
Really?
I would never admit it. I would never admit it.
You literally just admitted it.
I would never admit it to the Korean media, but I do like Mexican food a lot. Not more than Korean food, but it's the one thing I miss about America. People are like, you miss your family. I'm like, no, Mexican food more, to be honest.
I'm going to be going for some creative license with your words there. Just cut out the part where you said Mexican food's your favorite and translate that for the Korean viewers.
Don't beauty pie me, all right? It's a sensitive topic, all right?
I know Buddha Jjigae is on quite the same level as some of those topics, but
you never know, man. With the fans, you never know.
You are very serious in your love of a certain Korean dish.
Well, I don't think we're going to see Godspeed on the Bastion. I'd love to see Attack Bastion just riding the point all the way to the apex, but I don't think it's going to happen.
You'll just have to queue up some competitive afterwards and enjoy that, Wolf.
Oh boy. I'll have to be the one on the Bastion. Once the Hanzos come out, it's time to switch. Going to be a dive comp, though. Timeboy on his trademark Tracer. This is as standard as it gets here. They're going to try to break this high ground position as AOD set back up on the high ground there with the Rhine.
And normally when you see this high ground ceded by the defending team, we'll see Genji go about as far around as possible to look for some creative angles to get more harass, farm that Dragon Blade.
What he's looking for here, Bebe farming his own. Drops out a few left clicks here as they narrow the corner. Timeboy once again with a secret agent mission here. 007 Timeboy coming back, looking for the pick onto Kariv. Not going to happen, at least not initially here. He's spotted. Abort, abort.
Yeah, 40% ult charge, not a bad first mission. Doesn't have the recall now, using it just for a bit of health.
This is a great place to kind of farm that from because he has that health pack to work with. The health pack cooldown and the recall kind of stagger those against each other. Godspeed already at 65% as they narrow around this fountain here. Working to get that Dragon Blade.
Threat from so many different angles. There is the Pulse Bomb available. First pick is on the side of Mighty AOD defending, though, and they get the mech as well. Tank line dead should be backing up for X6.
Thorncut going to have this whole hog try to knock them into that archway as the point rolls back. Bebe is going to stick with the Zenyatta for one Transcendence, very likely before he switches back into the Ana.
See if Fake gets creative with the Earth Shatter. It's one of the big ults to separate the two teams. Not a lot of AoE on the side of X6.
No, definitely not. It's really going to be about this Dragon Blade, which is going to have to come in with the Transcendence. And that can nullify if they use it first. The ult coming out from Reinhardt. Here comes Timeboy's Pulse Bomb to set things up. Nano Boost coming down here onto the Zarya, actually. Killed immediately here by Timeboy.
Timeboy still around the back. 3 picks already. If you include the mech, there is, of course, the Diva taken out. So another time where X6 haven't really been able to get things coordinated. No Zenyatta ultimate either. Godsby was forced out of the fight so early that the Dragon Blade couldn't be popped, and that meant that the rest of the team was kind of lambs to the slaughter because they need the Dragon Blade to actually impact the backline of Mighty AOD.
So Sound Barrier pop there, no Primal Rage now, and Timeboy's going to farm the Pulse Bomb, I guess, for another engage, but they're running out of time here.
The battle here is between the Genji and the Ana. If the Sleep Dart comes in, that'll be massive, as there's the first kill, and there is Genji taking down the Ana. The Dragon Blade is massive, and this should finally be the first point for X6.
Yeah, they saved these critical ults. They forced this to happen here. When they when they had the ults together, when the self-destruct bought that space, that's when the Dragon Blade popped out.
They also knew that the previous fight, a lot was invested. There was no Lucio ultimate. They couldn't break it down. There was no way for them to actually peel for the Ana. That's why I said the battle was between Genji and Ana. Unless that's Jaehong, probably going to go the way of the Genji, and it went the way of X6.
That it did. It was Hyobun who broke down that defense. Thorncut still has this whole hog. He was the one who actually died to that self-destruct earlier. See a Transcendence actually popping out here very early on in this fight, but I think the pair with it, unfortunately. Thorncut going to get the kill onto Timeboy, but still several kills here. And Thorncut probably get a switch. That's probably why he popped that whole hog there at the last second. Snow Smite picks up the triple to clean up. Really a double, I suppose, with the mech.
It was a very aggressive defense from Mighty AOD. That's why we saw the Transcendence come in early. They wanted to actually get some significant pushing on the street space. If you get wiped there, even with 3 minutes in the time bank, suddenly completing this map seems like a big struggle. So now we're going to watch Timeboy skulking around the back line. See where the setup is from Mighty AOD, because they can't really go for the traditional street phase defense, and you can see here, Soldier's pretty caught out.
All right, Godsby's got the Sound Barrier this time with his Dragon Blade. The Sound Barrier counter-wise, though, limiting its power here. DM pops Attack Visor, gets the kill onto Gilly. Godsby sticks around for a long time here, but it's not going to work out, so that double ult ends up being a waste here. Self-destruct here coming down once again from Hyobun to help continue this push, but they didn't get the value they were looking for, committing so much of the resources around this corner.
No significant ults up here for X6, but they have managed to push the cart most of the way through this phase here, as we're watching Hyobun just getting free shots. They're not able whatsoever to contest the high ground as Mighty AOD.
Hyobun trying to build up that self-destruct again. He's been really the starter, or the initiator of these engages with that when he has it. If he gets a nice pick on Grieve.
Big enough to actually impact the fight, but the Reinhardt's very low as Roadhog finally desuits the Diva.
The Diva did help them push this up a little bit more with all that aggressive pressure, but it's not going to be what they were looking for. Once more, they're going to have to step back and reset. Timeboy sticking around to build up another Pulse Bomb, but he's going to be careful. He's got to be careful. If he gets killed here, he's going to be desynced so badly. And that's one of the mistakes we've been seeing from Tracer so far this tournament, is just sticking around because they're so hard to kill, to be greedy to get that Pulse Bomb. But if you fail to survive, then you're going to have to reset. Tracer obviously comes back very quickly, but still painful here for Timeboy.
Yeah, it's the fine line. We saw DM succeed at it on a push on a Numbani in the last map, but when you die, it's the desync, like you mentioned, even though Tracer is one of the fastest to get back. We're watching Tracer now, not able to take down, loses the duel against the Roadhog.
Starts to feel like a little bit of nerves here for Timeboy and X6 as they were having such a dominant performance. Now they're struggling quite a bit. Thorncut picks up a second one here onto Godsby.
They have made basically one serious push left here to X6 They do have the Dragon Blade. Winston burned down Godsby as he finally farmed. Last points of charge there, no need to pop it at 20 HP. Let's see how the setup is, because they actually have to contest the cart, not just go for a fight.
Yeah, that they do. Kariv here has this pulse bomb on the high ground, can drop it down to mess up a setup here. We're probably going to see the Transcendence Blade come out. They're going to wait for that self-destruct for the engage. They've been using it consistently every time.
And they need to try and force out the Lucio ultimate, otherwise the validity of this push is going to be minimal. Haven't seen the Dragon Blade yet. There's the Transcendence.
Forced early, though, by this grab, and the things are going to go wrong already here for X6. DM does get his blade, or rather his nano visor denied here. The self-destruct coming in afterwards, but will this be enough? Thorncut is down. DM still has this high ground position, though.
He's not being contested much. Finally, we see the Genji try and stop him. Watching him track the Genji. There it is. Gets the pick onto Genji. 2 down for X6, but 2 down for Mighty AOD.
DM, if he can stay alive here, he's got so much freedom to work with. Gets the kill into Hyobin out of the mech. And there's just, I mean, this push is really, really weakened right now for X6, but the respawns come in. Overtime still ticking down.
There's the Winston Primal Rage charge. They just want to try and buy time for their respawns, but so far, Mighty AOD have a lot better defensive structure on the cart. It has not moved in 4 minutes.
DM just is free to do damage here. No one's been able to contest him. There's the stop here, 77.82 meters. Things went wrong when they were forced to use Transcendence when Thorncut got the grab. Their whole huge setup, their entire plan was ruined at that moment. They tried to make the best of it, but they couldn't do it. And Thorncut again shows his hero pool here. He's shown some great Zarya. His Diva is on point, really good self-destructs, and now showing us why his Roadhog is so fierce. And, I mean, you can argue that perhaps the positioning should have been better there, but that pick, that grab, it wasn't even a kill. That forced the Transcendence really ruined everything for that push.
I didn't really feel like X6 facilitated Godspeed to carry on the Genji. We saw one consequential Dragon Blade where they previously had dived in, basically kind of an eco fight, where they got the support ults out, and sure, he wrecked face. But after that, the last time when finally the Dragon Blade was in position, they couldn't force out the Lucio ult early. The Dragon Blade didn't get a lot of effect. There was no Nano Blade even available there for the side of the Genji, and it felt like they never really wanted to vary their comp and just got stagnated.
Would have to agree, Mr. Smithy, as we move into the attack phase here for AOD. Not a huge distance to push here to actually tie this series up. And X6 had, fairly strong defense. This is where Godspeed really shone, though, actually, in the series against a Freaka Freaks Red on the high ground, on the McCree. This was his best performance.
And if I'm X6, I try and take a note from some of the other scenes, the NA scene in particular, the EU scene, and go for an aggressive defense. I think here you need to start spawn camping because you don't have much to work with. It's not, okay, the cart was stalled out right around the bend at the end. This is literally not even the second point taken on that streets phase. So you need to get creative, otherwise you shouldn't be surprised if this ends up 2-2 and suddenly Apex seems a little further away.
Absolutely. All right, spawn's complete here. We're going to see the Sonic arrow come out to get a little bit of vision about anything suspicious that might be coming their way. It's going to be straight standard. Kariv also gets the nice spot up here. Looks for a pick, but he's really just scouting the positioning. So 2 confirmation tools here as they now set up with the Genji.
It is Kariv on the Genji. Faradiva more common for him, but trying to contest the high ground and get the push started.
We talked about the weakness of the lack of a Genji main on this team, so Karib's going to try to make this work. He played decent earlier tonight.
Godspeed is set up to answer it, though. The McCree often one of the cleanest answers to that Genji. We'll see if DM can do his best impression here. He has much work done as Time Boy.
Yeah. So far, so good, actually. Uncontested in that bubble, even. Getting the pick onto Godspeed already, so he's not able to freely work, but he's really looking for the McCree shots later on.
Is dead. One healer down here for X6. This should be significant pushing for Mighty AOD.
Yeah, Time Boy goes down as well, playing the uncharacteristic Zarya, actually, on defense here, because they wanted to hold this choke point, but it's not going to happen. The gateway is already passed
It's so
through.
important that Mighty AOD has shown they can go stand. This is the new age meta. What did we see from Lunatic High but the Zenyatta Genji? Getting a lot of work done. They were marking targets, taking them down. Even now, farming up the Dragon Blade aggressively. No answer. And what was, remember, a struggle for X6 to claim the first point on Dorado is a cakewalk for Mighty AOD.
Absolutely. Now, remember, this is the point where Godspeed was strongest on that McCree, but he's actually already switched over this time to that Genji. So he's going to be looking for perhaps a Nano Blade to turn things around. Hyobin has been on point with his self-destructs. He's close to that now. But as you mentioned, so much more time to work with here. And AOD has the massive ult economy lead right now. They have so much to work with. Thorncut drops out. That self-destruct already.
Sleep is massive, though. Sleep onto the Genji will stow things out. This was the drop down from X6 they needed to win big in this scenario. Watching DM, though, a couple of answering kills. So far, the picks towards the side of Mighty AOD.
The DM saves the pulse bomb for now. Looking to just continue to push this forward. So much better ult economy here for AOD at this moment in time. Triple kill here coming down for their team. Gets the kill, of course, on Hyobin out of the mech. And this is looking disastrous for X6. There's so much time left and so little distance to cross.
And they tried the drop down. Such an aggressive strategy after losing so significantly on the first point. Also seeing MyOD get the big split spawn onto No Smite. This could be a really quick capture, Wolf.
It certainly could.
We're already just around the corner from the end here.
The Dragon Blade has to be good, and Godspeed doesn't
Is
have
there
it
even
yet.
time for it?
That's the question. He's going to have to farm it up now. Soundbarrier going to give him some space to work with.
There's the ultimate coming through.
It's actually Soundbarrier on the other side, in fact, actually. Godspeed now has it. He's going to pop it immediately here. He's going to have to make this work. Gets the kill onto Sleep. He needs more than that, though. Gets the kill to Kareev now counter-wise. He stays alive here, and it looks like they will hold for the time being.
Gets the 3K extended over the course of the Dragon Blade. Winston jumps away, but 3.5 minutes still here for Mighty AOD. Not a lot in the bank for either team. In fact, no ultimates available whatsoever.
Well, I misspoke on that Soundbarrier earlier. Gilly is at 80% currently, so they're going to have that for the next defense. They're going to have Primal Rage here, but critically, Hyobin did have to use that self-destruct, which is one of the most powerful tools they have on defense right now. Timeboy looking to slow this push down before it can even get to the payload.
While this might seem risky in a different game, in the context of this series, they need to go for these risky interrupts. Need to consistent splits as Kareev has the Dragon Blade, wants to take down Ana, reflected the Sleep Dart, not into her face, but regardless enough. Still can't get a single kill though here, Kareev. Falls and doesn't look like Genji main play in that highlight clip.
Definitely does not, and we're going to see this push continue here from Mighty AOD. Not enough kills to actually push it over the line here, but they're very close. DM, once again, not dealt with. And this has kind of been the story of Timeboy and DM harassing in the backline, no one ever picking them off, helping these pushes, helping weaken members down, especially when they have that Zenyatta to help out. In the case of Mighty AOD here, picking off those targets. There's a Sleep Dart.
Very nice.
Gets the kill there. Self-destruct coming in. Hyobin gets the pick onto Sleep. Transcendence actually popped here, interestingly enough. How are they going to make this work?
It seems like it's wasted with the pick we saw onto the Tracer. There's really no damage left for Mighty AOD. They kind of just donate the Transcendence. Maybe we'll see a switch off. They still have maybe 2 pushes on the outside. And yeah, we will see the Mercy come through. Slipq will change off the Zenyatta because that certainly wasn't going to be a massive Transcendence.
Definitely not. Remember, Kareev used Dragon Blade earlier, so he couldn't pair it with it. We have seen when your Dragon Blade's about halfway there, the Transcendence allows you to farm up the Dragon Blade freely. Then you see a Soundbarrier come down with the Dragon Blade, but he switches off here, switching now to the Pharmacy comp.
This is a really big shift. We saw Mighty AOD try this on defense on Numbani and get caught out. Let's see if they can actually make it work here, because they have really no ultimate meters to speak of. From the Winston and Lucio they stuck with us. There's no one actually to harass down the Widowmaker. A couple of picks come through. Godspeed, though.
Okay, several kills here. A wipe, actually, for Mighty AOD, and this is likely going to finally be their push over the wall here. The last kill going to be on to Timeboy. He can't deny anymore. It's clean, it's finished, and we are going to a Game 5. And suddenly that early lead for X6, the crowd behind them. There's so much pressure on this team. There's so much hype around them. But they failed to have the clean run-through that Runaway had last season of promotions, and now they might not actually get through this winners.
And credit to Mighty AOD. We've seen a lot of teams, even the best teams in the world, be criticized for sticking with a comp because, hey, we got some ultimates, we need to try and make it work. They realized that the whole comp was centered on holding down the Genji, dealing with the diving targets like the Tracer, and they just whip it up to the Pharmacy. There was no answer. They still had 2 minutes. It wasn't a overtime requirement there. So actually able to push it over the line, and suddenly the stakes get higher. Sure, it's not an elimination match, but everyone's focused on it being a best of one to end your Challengers Super Week now and go straight to Apex.
We're going back to Hybrid now, as Dorado does go back over to Mighty AOD. The momentum is in their favor. Take a look at that map pool. I actually didn't catch it earlier, so hold our breath on that one. But Hybrid was already won very heavily on Numbani by X6. Okay, Hollywood and Eichenwald, the options here. It's going to be Hollywood, our first of the tournament. This is going to be an exciting one. I wonder if we'll see any crazy defense attempts here with Sombra,
Symmetra even possible.
I meant the Symmetra, not the Sombra.
Hey, there's always Sombra. We learned that yesterday. So hoping for something crazy on the side, but the momentum suddenly shifts to Mighty AOD when we went into our first break thinking it would be a cakewalk for X6.
So, Hollywood, the defense was really weak for AOD on Numbani. They're going to have a much more solid approach. They know about the Bebe Soldier triple DPS push now. They've seen it twice already when they went into that overtime round on Numbani. They're going to have to figure out a way to deal with this if X6 runs it again. It's obviously less effective on this map, but we still might see it. And that's going to be, I really feel, the key factor going to the defense for AOD. It all comes down to this one final map in this best of 5 to decide who goes directly into Season 3 of Apex.
I get it.
You may have gotten it, but it's not about you or I, Wolf. It's about who gets that first spot in Challengers Super Week to go forward to Season 3 of Apex. Still a very good chance that the loser here will go through. These are two of the best teams we've seen so far in this tournament, but securing a spot today, being able to sit back and get more tape, watch as all your other potential future opponents play. That's exactly what you want. Sip the cocoa and be comfortable.
That's right. And maybe a little bit warm for Coco here in Seoul right now. Maybe just grab a soda. But either way, in terms of what we're seeing X6 with right now, minus Time Boy just trolling us a little bit. It looks like they're going to run that dive comp a little bit more standard. Not going to run Bebe on the Soldier. And AOD again with a pretty standard defense with the Soldier high ground defense, not the crazy Torbjorn Symmetra that we don't see too much anymore.
Defense on Hollywood Point A has kind of gone through very different trends. For a long time it was the high ground Soldier dominated strategy, and then from there we started to see Symmetra and people dropping down very early. Feels like we have mostly a comp that's about kind of cutting the difference between both. As Zarya certainly can just be on the lower ground spamming away, whereas on the side of X6, pretty traditional dive comp coming through once again. Let's see if Godspeed can get more value, as X6 kind of failed with this comp on Dorado.
They did. Well, AOD here just gonna, instead of trying something new and innovative, they're just gonna stick with what they know with so much on the line here, and I like this choice. As so far the dive attempt here, they actually do take the high ground. This is forcing AOD back. No picks yet, but they've already controlled what they wanted, and Reinhardt's forced into this room, so full control right now of X6 on their first push.
You can see some low health members, though, still waiting for a first pick of the fight. Goes through Zenyatta's already.
They already got a tick from this, just from forcing them off the point alone, so that is already in itself a big win.
See, the mech does finally get taken out on the side of Mighty AOD.
Tomboy pops out the pulse bomb, gets the kill on the Kareev, and it may be the first of many here as they just force them off the point. Sound barrier coming down here. AOD desperately tries to defend. There's the Earth Shatter they needed.
They need to try and make an emergency defense. Only a couple of ticks left. We're onto Godspeed, who does die during the course of the ult, but I don't think it's going to be enough. But yep, already claimed is the
This is the saddest situation for Mighty AOD to fail to defend, while a Reinhardt who's nano boosted, who also uses Earth Shatter, just swings mindlessly as he knows he's going to die and he knows it doesn't matter. He does, build up quite a bit of meter, but he's going to switch to the Winston anyways.
And I think the fact that you point out that the approach was so successful that the control over the point A was already lost from the start. They were ticking up as the fight went on, and they claimed the point A with 3 ultimates still up. As you noted, so many ults used in a failed defense by Mighty AOD, and this could be a massive continued push, because how are Mighty AOD realistically going to contest?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. They do have Whole Hog, and they have the attack visor, which is popped here. Immediately the kill onto Gilly. It's like this one is going to be stopped, but again, X6 doesn't waste anything here. They don't even use anything. They're going to get this late spawn kill onto No Smite, which is huge, but X6 is ready to go with the next push. This time with the self-destruct, which has been how they've been starting these engages pretty consistently. Godspeed on the Widowmaker here as Timeboy gets 1 pick already from the high ground, has that pulse bomb. Things are starting off already for this second push, if you will.
Now Time Boy just trying to force it to be a 6v5. They already have an ult lead. They didn't use any ults as they got wiped in the last second. As seeing the trades going pretty well for Time Boy against the Genji. He goes down. So X6 going to continue to push. It once again is a 6v5 and finally gain the traction as there is the ultimate there from the Diva.
Yep, the sound barrier, goes down here. X6 getting 3 kills here. That self-destruct that Yobin has been using so well ever since the triple kill on Nepal comes in again, and they just continue to shove towards that second checkpoint here. AOD has no ults to work with. Let's not forget that Godspeed has been on this window the entire time. Hasn't had any crazy pop-off kills or anything like that, but the pressure is on, forcing a defensive posture from AOD. Oh, looking for the kill on Ana, just barely misses it, but gets the kill on
headshot.
Yeah, looking for another here.
Zenyatta Otis pops, they're staying pretty healthy. Already 2 picks down, they want to claim point B. Pretty instantly here, Dragonblade in the back line. Lucio ultimate comes down, keeps the Genji alive. The contest might be just enough on the side of Mighty AOD.
2.3 meters off right now. Yobin goes down, they're gonna reset here. Gonna be the late respawn here, obviously, for Winston. Actually, maybe not. Eventually gets taken out, but 2 picks here. And that's going to be, unfortunately, a lot of respawn time. But they build up some ults from that. No Smite getting closer and closer now at 86%. So not a total waste.
Walkback's going to be pretty significant for X6-Gaming. Obviously not far to push the cart, only now. And pushed out of the 5-meter range. They have no ultimates, and also the terrain does heavily favor Mighty AOD in terms of their defensive position. So even those 2.5 minutes, it's going to take a little bit of time before they even really have the formation and ultimates to seriously attempt to push the cart.
Yeah, Time Boy also sticking around very late there with the late respawn, but now they're set up and good to go. They only have that self-destruct for initiate. No Smite can come in to try to force this onto that checkpoint. They may just commit to it. There's the self-destruct coming in. Godspeed on the high ground here.
Gonna look down, no one contesting him right now. Free shots for Godspeed, but finally going to start getting contested. There's the Winston and the Diva. Disengages, but now no longer in the fight. 1 pick for Tracer, wins the duel against DM.
Okay, he's got the sound barrier on him, looking for that pulse bomb. Wants the kill onto Ana here. Lift Q in danger. So self-destruct here used defensively as Time Boy looks for that pick. He's still unsuccessful here, but 2 kills already against AOD, and Time Boy persists, looking for that Tracer kill in the matchup. And we'll get the kill on the Thorncut now, and that is going to be the push, it feels, onto this capture point as Kareev is the last to fall. Godspeed does the tack visor just to secure it.
Yeah, the supports dying first was so consequential. Sleep and Lift Q couldn't be in the fight, so no staggered respawns. Now wants to take time. They finally do push it. 2 minutes 45 for the final phase.
Okay, so, I mean, this is, it was a tough, hard-fought battle. They had to use almost all their ults. Yobin's going to have another self-destruct, which he's been consistently having. He's such a great Diva player. You know, we'll see if this ends up being a liability because he's been playing pure Diva this entire tournament. But for the time being, it's really worked out for them. Time Boy going to have the pulse bomb. Godspeed, since he used that tack visor, it's a long way away. Here comes the self-destruct. They're just going to hard engage with it with the pulse bomb. Unfortunately, neither explosion will connect, but they do force out that important sound barrier.
Right, just want to disengage here and wait out the sound barrier. They do. Here is another ultimate, the tactical visor from Korea. They get some picks. Gonna buy a bit of time here. They can back away. Mighty AOD do use the tack visor, one of their crucial space control ultimates. Its ultimate down as well. Maybe the next push will be the one for X6's. Godspeed's going to jump on to the McCree.
Very expensive for X6, but expensive for AOD as well. But I feel like this favors AOD just because they have this defensive advantage. They have the setup. The cart's on rollback right now. There's not a whole lot of time to work with. So X6, I feel like, wanted more there, but they did not get it. The defense against that double ult was really strong. We're going to see the Nano come down onto Fate now as he moves forward, trying to get that Earth Shatter. One more swing will do it. Doesn't get it, however.
Still doesn't have Earth Shatter. Did squash the Lucio, so less heals means that's still probably going to be a pretty significant teamfight win for Mighty AOD. Quick breather taken by the Roadhog. Whenever they win a fight without tactical visor, they feel great because that should be enough to halt a push for 10 seconds or so in the future. Only a minute, so we're getting very much into the last seconds here.
And a fight.
Not quite as deadly as it was before.
Yeah,
Unnerves in full display.
Bebe already has Nano, so this almost feels unrealistic. It's just giving LiftQ free charge right now. As they move forward, they're going to look for the Electric Cowboy here. Godsby so close to that Deadeye right now, so they're going to try to pair this. No Spite doesn't have that Earth Shatter, importantly, whereas so many ults up for AOD. So if they commit and if it falls flat, this may be the end of X6's push on this attack run.
It's going to be the last push here. We're watching Godsby still looking for the headshots, not committing to the ultimate yet.
Okay, gets healed. He may drop it now. Nope. He's got an opportunity. Here it is. He's looking for it when there's no shield.
Doesn't have an angle on anyone, looking for any picks whatsoever, zoning some space, but nothing more.
He hesitated so long. There was such a great opportunity there with no Ryan's shield, but he missed it. Now just looking for the left clicks. As you see, the Earth Shatter is blocked. They've got their own counterwise here. No Spite dies, though, before he can use it. And Hyobin's ult is wasted, used alone here. And this is rough. X6 is going to have to try to force this in overtime, but I don't think this is going to work.
The Diva's walking out. We actually see the ultimate here onto the Reinhardt just to stop anyone from coming and contesting the card. There's the pick onto the Roadhog. Everyone's getting forced out. It's looking like it's going to be a hold from Mighty.
And it will be, unless they pull off a miracle here, but everyone is pushed now off the cart. Overtime ticks down, 44.6 on this last, as Anna is going to be the last one to contest. No chance here. And now Mighty AOD sits with this defense. All they need is a full push to point C to go straight into Apex. They look very happy with that defense. Disjointed ults from X6 on that final push. They didn't get the Earth Shatter off. Hyobin wasted the self-destruct. I feel like they need to be working more together like we saw earlier tonight. I feel like the nerves are getting to this rookie team. They're playing their second televised match in front of a live audience, and so much is on the line.
I think Costas bring out the words reverse sweep a bit too early. This is the time, though, as it's looking like a reverse sweep by Mighty AOD. Remember how this started. It started on the lowest possible ebb for Mighty AOD, as it was one of the fastest pushes possible on point A. And then things just got stalled out, first at the end of point B, then at the middle point of point C. And things just fell apart, as you could say has kind of been the storyline or the narrative for this series for X6.
Yeah, feels like a runaway story almost at this point.
I'm not ready for that yet, Wolf. Let's
Too
calm
soon?
down. Too soon.
Sorry.
It is always a bit weird when you have, so much Overwatch just a few days after what was a titanic matchup of the amateur versus the established. On that day, the established team won, but only at the last second, and we're hoping to be seeing teams that can go and have the same sort of success story that Runaway and I guess even more aptly Meta Athena had in the course of the last promotion series.
Yeah, well, neither of these teams are going to have that clear 6-0 runaway story that we had last season of promotions, but still, regardless, the winner of this final push, it's going to be decided with this one. There's no tie break possible unless they get exactly 44.69, which I don't even think is physically possible. We'll see. Mighty AOD
That's
wants
the sort of
this full
caster curse I can get behind.
Yes.
If we have that particular stall.
I don't even know if it's physically possible if the game even works that way, but I don't think so. But either way, we're going to find out. I don't think it's going to happen. AOD looking for a full hold here. Again, standard comps for both teams. No one is trying anything here.
Kariv has had previous rounds where he was completely unanswered on the Widowmaker, and you look down the lineup of X6, there's not really an answer at all. So a couple of quick picks, and this could be a fast point A for Mighty AOD.
Yeah, X6 really wants the full hold here. That's what they are looking for because they've had a strong defense already. Their attack shut down on the last point, as Kariv is just looking for some headshots here. Unfortunately, unable to find some so far. DM, started off the weaker Tracer in the series, but I feel like he's actually slowly approaching better than Timeboy, already at 55%, twice the ult of Timeboy at this moment in time.
Kariv is already down, though, so he was taken out by Soldier from long range. They don't have the same threat from the Widowmaker on Godsby. A lot of damage onto the Winston. Taken out, though. But this first push isn't going to be super successful for Mighty AOD, but Thorncut's here still.
Okay, they don't want to lose anyone else, though, or this will be a push. It will be a capture, I should say. Thorncut trying to get that kill, and No Smite does eventually do it. Bought a lot of time, though, did No Smite. But Thorncut picks up a second onto Bebe here, and this actually may push through. Not going to quite happen, though. Looks like they kill onto Kariv. Going to kind of push this back. The delayed respawn on Thorncut. They didn't get a tick. AOD needs to do this several more times, or excuse me, X6 needs to do this several more times to just secure the win. It's an unlikely scenario, but they look strong so far. They have Hyobin's important self-destruct.
Not quite Transcendence yet, pretty close to it for LiftQ.
And also the Earth Shatter, very close by. Nano Boost being used earlier is unfortunate, but Rip looking for that Dragon Blade right now. He's got the Sound Barrier. If he could actually pop it, would be great, but he's not going to have it. The sound barrier used against him now as Godby pops the attack visor on high ground here.
Seeing the ultimate come through, nothing there from the self-destructs. We're now onto Kariv. He's used the Dragon Blade. 1 kill so far on the Reinhardt, but not massive value again. Oh, the Reflect there does get the kill on the Soldier, but it's taken out. It's Kariv.
Yobin gets his mech back here after that self-destruct, pushes everyone off, buying more and more time. 2 minutes left to go. There's the kill onto Fate, and it looks like this may be another hold for X6. Yeah, pushing them off now. AOD is going to have to set up for one more push.
I think they might need to take a different tact, though. We've seen them do that with the Pharmacy late in the game, and honestly, they do change. We see Kariv now moving on to the Soldier. Haven't seen the massive Genji play here that we've seen in recent weeks, spoiled by some of the best teams in Apex. Very different setup, and just mind a couple of times. DM on the Soldier, and Kariv is actually going to be on the McCree.
I think this is going to be an eco run from behind. They're going to try to build up ults here.
You don't have too much eco running to do, though.
That's
only
true.
a minute 20.
A minute 20, but they're going to try to look for something here. Perhaps a pick with Thorncut. This feels really desperate right now. X6 just going to meet this with a second high ground defense here. Timeboy drops down the low ground, gets the pulse bomb here. He's not going to secure the kill onto Fate. He's immediately biotic grenaded. But time is ticking.
Oh, McCree. Let's get a first kill here. So it is a 6v5. Best scenario that Mighty AOD have had in a while. Watching DM is knocked down by the Earth Shatter, taken out. This should be the answer here. Big Earth Shatter from X6, and it's going to be close to a wipe here from Mighty AOD, and I think that might be the full hold.
It might be, because there's no ults to use here. Lift Q is going to have the nano, but for what? No tack visor to pair with it. They have the sound barrier as well, so they're going to try to just force a fight here. Kariv switches to the Diva.
Big thing here, if they can get Lucio ult by a bit more time, they have a lot of members close to their ultimate. These characters can get ult here. It would be crucial, so let's not write off Mighty AOD just yet.
They're going to have to use a sound barrier to make this happen. Here's the nano boost going down already onto Fate. He's caught. He has Earth Shatter. He's going to need to use it.
50 health, not dead yet. There's the sound barrier as well. Not a big Earth Shatter.
Okay, here's Hyobin's big self-destruct blocked by that shield. Fate gets the kill. Kariv with the second one here. No Smite's alive.
It's only DM here in terms of threats. Watching No Smite, holding the point. Think it's going to be the full hold, Wolf.
DM has, nope, they can't get on.
Kariv doesn't get on the point, and look at that. X6 just about stick the landing, and will be your first team to confirm their spot in Apex Season 3.
Bit of a celebration dance here coming out from Timeboy. He did the dab earlier. Might have regretted it had they not been able to full hold here, but it was a tougher run than I expected it to be. I felt like their ult usage, especially on attack there, a little bit questionable, but the defense was where they shined, and they're able to win it in the end.
And look, they're a very young squad. This will be their first appearance in Apex, so they thought they'd already done it at 2-0. Many teams have suffered that fate before in the history of competitive sports, let alone esports. Finally get over, and that's the hard bit done. They are now qualified for Apex. They can now spend the next month or so putting their strategies together, scouting out their opponents. Superweek is always going to be a bit up and down because you cannot scout everyone and all the possible permutations when playing so much Overwatch in such a little amount of time, but they've done the hardest ask. And now Mighty AOD, see them looking frustrated. They came so close to the reverse sweep, and now they still need another best of 5 to confirm their spot.
X6 is going to be one of these new story teams. I mean, you saw the fan signs in the crowd. They've only played now 2 offline matches here in their career, but they've already got a large fan base gathered here in the studio. And, they were able to, despite, I feel like, being the more pressured team of these two, keep it together when it mattered most. And as you said, not only is it new and stressful, and this is a really tough part of the tournament, there's less prep time, but they did it in the fastest possible route, which means teams preparing for them in Apex will have less games to study. And this is definitely what you want. As you can see, some of these players clearly friends, as we see the manner handshake afterwards. Some players less okay with the scenario than others. Sleep looks especially really upset. But AOD, I feel like, really stepped up their play from what we saw from them yesterday. And this is a team that could absolutely still get into Apex.
I feel like we still learned a lot by AOD. I thought their swaps, specifically in some of the later maps, were very on point. They showed a lot of personality to come back, even though it's a winner's bracket match. It was an elimination for them to come back and almost reverse sweep. Talks about mental resolve and fortitude. And for X6, who are now qualified,